Hello, everyone. This is Attorney Gehi, and welcome to this program brought to you by Gehi Law India. And we have Akika Gugoi from our Mumbai office. And how's the weather in Mumbai, Akika? And I think you're based in Bandra, correct? And that's one of
Yes.
the places. And also, you're very close to the consulate. So, in a sense, you're killing two birds with one stone. And how are things in Bandra?
Well, about the weather, it's extremely hot right now.
Well, but you're sitting in a very nice and a wonderful office, and that too in BKC, which is, I would say, the heart of Mumbai. And, office is right there. So I think, one cannot expect anything better than that, really. To be close to Bollywood and to be close to BKC, I think it's a blessing, I believe. So
That-
thank you so much. And I have Advocate Akika Gugoi from our Bandra office joining us today. And this is Attorney Gehi joining from New York. So as usual, we've been getting people asking us all the time that we want to start a branch office in America. And firstly, before going any further, I need to thank all the people who appeared last time and for the fantastic comments. And because of the overwhelming demand of our previous segment, we will be continuing this on a regular basis. So regularly, we are going to have the session wherein we will be educating the masses in connection with the different ways of how people who are in foreign countries can come to America. So this is a continuation of our previous segment. And if you missed a previous segment, it is available online, and the moderators will be happy to assist you if you want to kind of go through the previous segment of what we have done. So let's hit the nail on the head and let's start rocking with today's topic, which is advanced issues under the L1A visa category. So in order to make sure that, we at least kind of give a basic background to people who've missed, so I'm going to repeat a little bit about what we did in the last session so that no one misses out. So suppose if you did not join a previous segment, I'm going to make sure that I brief you about what we discussed last time about the L1A visa category. So what is the L1A visa category? Take an example. You're sitting in your office right now. You're sitting in this fancy office of yours in a foreign country. And you're sitting there and you're thinking that I want to go to America and I want to start my branch office. That's a great move. There are certain requirements. And some of these requirements have been set by the government. And some of them are my recommendations for people to make sure that they successfully navigate the L1A visa process. So now you're sitting over here in your office and you have the staff of around 100 people working for you, or you're an entrepreneur and you have decided that you have this roaring IT business. I'm taking an example of information technology. It can be the seafood business. It can be a manufacturing business. It can be, an import-export business, or you may be into medical billing. Doesn't matter what you're into. So now you're a successful businessman and you have this fantastic manager who says, why don't we start a branch office in America? Firstly, I must say that is fantastic thinking. Because if you're successful, America has a way for you. The common misconception is that I have to go for the investor's visa. The answer is that if you are a successful businessman, and if you're an owner of a company, you may not need the investor's visa. The L1A can be your best friend in this regard. What is the L1A? An L1A allows a person to come into the United States as a manager and set up a branch office. So now you're sitting in a foreign country, sitting there, and you want to set up a branch office. So what you have decided that I want to come to America, start up my branch office. So first thing is the person has to be a manager. A manager is a person who knows how to manage the business of the company, grow the company, and take it to the next level. That's one of the key requirements. Secondly, the person should have worked in the foreign country for more than 1 year. Third, very important requirement is that it should be a bona fide company and the purpose of the business should be bona fide. Bona fide means it should be a genuine company. Now, who are the people who do not qualify? Generally, okay, you can definitely qualify depending on the officer you get. But generally, I've seen when you're a very small company, you're not showing proper taxes, you don't have a lot of people on your payroll. Immigration doesn't like that because they doubt the credibility of the company. They're looking for people who are successful. They're looking for people who really have the wherewithal to grow in the United States of America. Now, let's take an example about an IT company. Then we'll go to a diamond company. Then we're going to take an example about a seafood company. About an IT company, Akika, what happens is that, take an example, you are right now in Bandra. Someone approaches you and tells you that, hey, I want to start my company in America. The first thing, Akika, the person has to do with us is to make sure that he's a director or a senior manager of the company. And he needs to have a game plan. By the word game plan, I mean he needs to have a business plan. So now the business plan is that I want to go to America because, why? Because is a very important word. I want to start up my branch office. What do you want to do in the branch office? Second important thing. I want to make sure that I have these IT clients that I'm servicing from this country, and I want to make sure that they're serviced very well. And I'm going to make sure that the development takes place in India or in that foreign country. Might be Russia, might be Netherlands. But what you're doing over here, after you're setting up your company, you're also saying that you're continuing to work as with the foreign company on a regular basis as a subsidiary, and you're going to make sure that trade happens between both these countries, which means that you are going to make sure that both these companies are connected in terms of business. Easiest way to describe it is you came to the US, you're servicing a lot of vendors in America in your business. And while you're servicing them, you're getting the software developed in the foreign country. Fantastic. You showed that there's a link between both the countries. And nexus is the most important word between both the corporations. That is what an L1A is. Also, we need to make sure that more than 51% of the shareholders, majority shareholders, are the same. Suppose if the majority shareholders are less, then the problem is, then the L1A may not be the best for you. Now, Akika, the most common question you get is who are the people who should actually start their business in America? Do you agree or no?
Yes, Mr. Gilly.
All right. So the most important thing which I would request here is that what people need to do is first think that I want to start my branch office. Secondly, make sure that you're a mid-sized company. Now, that's my personal kind of opinion. Because if you're too small, firstly, you may not qualify, and you may just kind of not be in the right place. But if you're a small company, if you want to grow, of course, you can contact us. We'll be happy to assist you with that. But at the end of the day, make sure that you're a mid-size or you are on the path of growth. If you're an absolute genius, and even if you're a small company, and if your gross income is very high, your net is brilliant, you're paying a lot of taxes, and you've been that person who's an entrepreneur who has been recognized by different media outlets, that's the way to go. That is very, very important. So once if that happens, the next thing is that, after that, you can actually, move further. You can move further by basically, contacting an attorney and make sure that your documents are perfected. And once if the documents are perfected, then exactly you need to apply. Then the thing is, what happens? The US lawyer talks to you. And after the talking is done in this regard, then after that, your branch office is formed in America. Of course, you may have to rent a space, make sure that there are proper leases, proper business plans, and then you can actually move further. So we are going to start presenting some slides. Akika, if you could be kind enough to start kind of presenting some slides, that's going to be critically important for our viewers.
Sure, Mr. Gahi. Allow me 1 minute.
And folks, if you have any questions, you can join us and we'll be happy to answer them. And this is a live session, which means we are live. Feel free to ask your questions. These are advanced issues related to L1 visas. So recent developments, common issues. Now, yes, let's talk about the recent developments. Immigration is getting very particular about whether it's a bona fide company and whether you are not trying to circumvent the law. And sometimes people who are already in the US on an L1A visa, they're getting a lot of RFEs. What is an RFE? RFE is a request for evidence to make sure that exactly the company is progressing. And that is critically important, Akika. Because sometimes what is happening is people are coming into America. After they come in, they are not doing the right business. They are not functioning properly. They're not hiring employees. And the company is at a standstill. And it becomes a dormant company. Once if you become dormant, the problem is your L1A will not be renewed. And that can become a big problem for people. Therefore, it's very important for the person to be in constant touch with the lawyer in order to ensure that you are in full compliance of the L1A visa requirements. That is very, very important. Let's go to our next slide. So there are two types of L1 visas. Number one is the managerial L1 visa, and the second one is for people who have specialized knowledge. And if you're a person of specialized knowledge, for example, if you're that diamond cutter working for a diamond company, or if you're that software engineer working for the company, and if you're working on a very particular software, such as SAP, or if you're working on a very, very particular software, such as Python, and you're a super expert in Python, then you are considered to be a person of specialized knowledge. A person of specialized knowledge does not have to be a manager. So you have that specialized knowledge and you're working under somebody, but you're that great guy whom the company regards very highly. That is what specialized knowledge is. A diamond cutter or someone who's a fantastic programmer who is down in the corporate ladder is a person of specialized knowledge. And there's a vast difference between an L1A manager and a person with specialized knowledge. And these are people who are supposed to be transferred to the foreign country, and they are allowed to come and live in America until their status expires. So we'll also talk about, how can you convert the L1 visa, about your dependents and about your children going to school, and how the US can be beautiful in that regard. So let's go to the next slide. Okay, the L1 blanket petition is meant for people to obtain blanket approval for multiple L1, so reducing for the individual application. Okay, so if you're a big company and if you have a lot of people coming in, like you're a big company, then go for the L1 blanket, which means in the L1 blanket you want 8 or 10 people coming in, and you're starting this big company which are already like well known in this foreign nation, and you're in in all these newspapers, etc. Consider the L1 blanket. L1 blanket means you're asking for like X amount of approvals because you already made it big, and you need these 20 managers coming in so that you can kind of, build a multi-million-dollar enterprise in the US. That's where the L1 blanket petition comes in. So that's very important for sure. Let's move to the next slide. Okay, there's a reason why L1 visas are facing a lot of scrutiny is because of the fraud, because companies that are coming in sometimes are very small, or they're not growing in America. They're just kind of standing still, and it's not benefiting the US government. People coming here not paying proper taxes, they're not hiring people, they're not growing the company, they're not acting as proper managers, and they're just buying and killing time in America by not focusing on the company. These are some of the critical factors which only experienced lawyers can talk to you about, because this is where compliance comes in when you're dealing with L1 visas. Very important to be in full compliance of the L1A regulations. So now, Akika, you might be asking me, if a person has a family, what they can do. All right?
Correct.
Let's talk about the L1A. If someone is married, his spouse can also come in. And the good news is the spouse gets a work permit once the spouse comes to America. And the children can also go to school. And this is fantastic. And we have some questions. Let's take some questions and we'll continue on that. All right. I'm working in the company management team. Please make sure. Okay. All right. So the question is that if he's working in the management team, then L1A will be a fantastic option for the person. And if he's a manager and if he's worked in that company for more than 1 year, the good news is that I think he has a chance to come to America and start a branch office in the USA. That is very important. So let's go back. So you have this great company in India or in another country. It can be any country in the world. It can be the Netherlands, it can be Finland, and you have this company in Finland, in Netherlands, in Germany, Japan, Italy, Russia, France, whatever that is. And now you are working for this company. They want to come here, start a branch office. Make sure that you have worked as a manager. Make sure that you've been working in the company for more than a year. Make sure that you have the requisite qualifications. I tell people, when you're starting a company, always send your senior most manager to America to come in and start the business. So these problems happen, the one that's on the screen. It only happens because these problems happen, especially because the guidance is poor. The company does not have a game plan. The company does not have a growth plan. So these are the three major reasons why companies fail in America. So therefore, the scrutiny of the company from day one and the guidance of that company wherein it is internationally located, it's a very, very critical factor in the entire L1 visa process. So let's move to the next slide, and we'll take one slide after another, so that we are going to have enough time for people to ask questions too. It's going to be a lot of fun today. Do you have any more slides or no more slides?
It's a new one. Yes.
Yeah, this is a new one. All right. Denial rates for L1 visas have risen recently, making it challenging for applicants to obtain approval. Now, this happens when the screening is not done properly by your lawyer. This happens wherein you are doing things haphazardly. You're not paying proper attention. Your compliance is low, and you're just basically filing the visa for the heck of it. And you're dealing with an inexperienced attorney who really doesn't know the entire 9 yards. Therefore, experience matters in such cases, wherein you need to have a good accountant working with you. You need to have a good lawyer working with you. You need to have a good person who can really do a fantastic business proposal for you. There's a saying in America that you need to cross your I's and your T's before you shoot. So the bottom line is that when you do not look at everything under a microscope, the problem is that your visa will be denied. So therefore, I always tell people, if you're a mid-sized company, consider coming into America. If you've been in business for 25 years, had your silver jubilee, America is waiting for you. But for the right people, people who respect the laws, and not people who try to circumvent the laws of the United States of America. Do we have the next slide? Or okay, let me see what this is now. Impact of immigration. Okay. All right. The impact, the political impact is that administrations are becoming difficult only because some of these companies, they try to circumvent the law. They try to kind of, play with the law. That is the only time the government becomes strict. But on the whole, if you're a decent company, if you have a game plan, if you have a growth plan, America is still open for opportunity. And, I'm located in New York. We've seen these booming businesses. A lot of diamond merchants are here. They come and they start diamond their diamond businesses. They've been very successful. So I would say that people from the diamond industry are doing phenomenally well. IT industry is doing very well. Import-export is doing very well. Chemical businesses are doing phenomenally well. And, it doesn't matter which business you are in. But the bottom line is that if you are or even if your father has this great business, you're a director, America is calling you. And there are some other good things about it in the USA. If you come on an L1, guess what? The great news is that same company can sponsor you for a green card. Yes. So the good thing is that you don't have to undergo the labor certification process. You just have to be successful in America. And in 3 to 4 years, you can get your green card. So you don't have to spend that, exorbitant amount of money, that kind of, sumptuous amount of money, especially when you are thinking about the investor's visa. Save your money, put it in your company, grow your company is the mantra of the L1 visa. So let's take some more questions and okay. Fatih Amri. So the way you can start is like this is, I think, Akika, that question is meant for you, I would say. That if someone wants to start and reach you, and how can they reach you at the Bombay office? If you're in New York, of course, you can come to a New York office and see us anytime at Gay and Associates. But since this is from BKC Bandra, the heart of Bollywood, more than anything else, how can they come to Bollywood and reach you? How's that?
It's from some other location.
Yeah, I don't know where Fatih Amri is, but if they want to see you, they can call you, or how can they reach you?
Yes, so we can share our phone numbers and the address. We already have the information, so we can share that. And also our website is there, so
Can you talk about
directly
the number, or how do you guys do it? It's up to you. All right, so what you can do is, can you put it in the chat or something? Is that allowed?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so people will have to look at the chat, or you can Google Gays Immigration and International Legal Services, I believe. Can they or no?
Yes.
All right.
They can go to our website and get all the information pertaining to the address and phone number.
Okay, you can actually, look at the website and you can proceed further. And if you want to reach me in New York, it's very easy. Gay and Associates in America. It's a well-known firm, and that's how it is. Now, Abdul from Saudi Arabia. Firstly, salam alaikum and kaifa alak. And Ana Zain, I'm fine over here. So from New York. So you want to apply for L1 visa. What concerns may arise for dependents If your L1 is approved, the good thing is for your spouse, there's no issues. Your children under the age of 21 can come and live with you in the United States, and also your spouse can get a work visa in the United States of America. So this is fantastic news. So Abdul, and if you have a game plan, if you have a business plan, I think L1 is a good way for you to consider in order to proceed with and settle in the United States of America. So Akika, there are some more benefits of L1. Do you know what they are? All right. So the surprise is L1 follows a dual intent. So people wonder, what is a dual intent? Means doesn't matter which country you are. The beauty of the L1 visa is you can be living in any country in the world and you can consider the L1 visa. That is the best part about the L1 visa. And secondly, after you apply for the L1 visa, your family can come to America with you. Your spouse can come with you. Your children under the age of 21 can come with you. And under the dual intent doctrine, even if you tell the consulate officer that you are going to live in America, they cannot stop you from coming to America. That is the beauty of the dual intent doctrine that applies in L1 visas. Akika is also making notes so that she's also understanding that how important it is to know about the L1 visa. In what circumstances should L1 visa applicant consider engaging the expertise of an immigration attorney? If you are abroad and if you are a Julius Caesar who says that I came, I saw, I conquered, and if you're someone who is very much ambitious, and if you're that go-getter who wants to make sure that you have an international presence, you should contact an attorney. And I'm a licensed attorney in New York. I'm also admitted to the bar in India. So the bottom line is that an American lawyer can definitely help you to settle in the USA. And L1 is a very specialized area. And if you do it properly, you'll do very well. It's a hit or a miss. If you don't do well, your case will be denied. So there are some other screens that are coming up. Impact of, political changes, as I mentioned, doesn't have a major impact right now, but they expect people to comply with the law. Job duties and qualifications. One common issue with L1 is, okay, if you are coming in on a transfer, if you're on an L1B, you will have to undergo the labor certification process. But if you are under the L1A, there's no labor certification. You can directly apply for the green card after a few years. But of course, you have to look at the background of the company. You have to make sure that the company is doing very well. It's not like kind of, a walk in the park, wherein you just come in and immigration is going to welcome you and get you the green card. It's a process. It's a lot of work needed. And I must say one thing, American immigration is difficult. It's one of the most difficult countries to immigrate to. Therefore, it's important to have the right lawyers and the right background. Even if you have the right lawyers, but if you don't have the right background, America is going to deny you. That's how this country is based. It's people come in with a lot of hopes and aspirations. Few succeed, a lot of them go back. This is how America works, folks. They only go for the cream of the crop. The rest of them are disappointed. Some of them get into depression, but some of them become heroes. They do very well. But that is how the USA works. There's a very good saying that the USA is the survival of the fittest. So Akika, do you have any questions so far? Advocate Akika Gogoi, do you have any questions so far?
No, Mr. Gigi, you already have actually shared all the information, and I would like to thank you for discussing the topic such thoroughly with us and for addressing all the questions from our audience.
Let's see whether we have any other questions before we leave, and hope we had. All right, so folks, we are going to have this regular session now, and we want to keep it short and sweet, because if we give you too much information in one section, you will not understand. So let us basically sum this up before we go. If you are, my final words is that if you are in a foreign country right now, and if you have thought of coming and living in America, I'm using the word living, because L1 can also allow you the opportunity to come and live in the United States of America. Wow! You can come to New York and fulfill your dream of becoming a New Yorker. The Big Apple, the Mecca of fun, the Mecca of money, the Mecca of entertainment. If you want to come to America, and if you're a successful entrepreneur, if you have a good company, if you want to expand, if you are dynamic, the good thing is that we've done it over the years. We've settled companies that needed the right advice, the right guidance. But make sure that you are a manager and you have a decent sized company, and then plan your path to the United States accordingly. Compliance with L1 regulations is crucial to avoid any adverse consequences. We mentioned that. Strategies and solutions include effective documentation. That is very important. And third, I cannot stress the importance of having a good lawyer, especially when your mission is mission USA. If your mission is USA, make sure that you fire with all your guns. Make sure that you have the right strategy in mind. Make sure that you don't only plan your L1A visa, plan your green card. Thank you. This is Attorney Gehi with Akika Gogoi. My very special thanks to Priyanjali Guharoy, Sabrina Dosu, John, and the rest of our team for making this possible. We'll be back again 2 weeks from now, with a very important topic. And the topic is something that you all are going to love. We're going to talk about people who are very highly educated, or people who have publications, or people who are from the film business. They're celebrities of how they can be sitting in the foreign country and applying for the green card. So the good news is we will be talking about how to get your green card directly without a sponsor under the EB-1A category. How to get your green card directly without a sponsor under the EB-1A category. And this is meant for people who are brilliant, people who have publications, and who do not have the knowledge of how to come to America. So make sure that you stay tuned 2 weeks from now, and the date should be the 8th, I believe. 8th of June, I think.
7th of June.
7th of June. So it's going to be the 7th day of June, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And what would be your time there?
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock in the evening. So if you want to set up a branch office, or if you want to learn more about US immigration, these sessions may help you a lot. Thank you so much, folks. This is Attorney Gehi from Gehi and Associates, joined by Akika Gogoi, advocate from Gehi's Immigration and International Legal Services from Bandra, Mumbai. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gehi.
Thank you.